Welcome back to AutoBigate, the channel where innovation meets machinery, and where global defense, cutting-edge technology, and future mobility converge. Today's video takes us deep into one of the world's most intriguing military developments. Iran has just unveiled its latest drone, and it's causing a stir not only in the Middle East but across military circles around the world. We'll take you through everything you need to know: what the drone is, what it can do, what it means for the balance of power, and of course, how much it costs. So buckle up, because you're about to discover a new chapter in unmanned warfare, made in Iran. Iran's drone program has always operated in the shadow of bigger global players like the United States, Israel, and China. However, over the past decade, it has steadily gained prominence. This rise hasn't happened in a vacuum. Sanctions, regional conflicts, and Iran's need to build self-reliant defense systems have pushed its engineers to innovate under pressure. The result: a surprisingly diverse fleet of UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles capable of surveillance, combat, and electronic warfare. But the newest model, just revealed in 2025, takes things to a whole new level. This drone, officially named Mohajer 10, is not just an upgrade, it's a redefinition. Designed by Iran's Defense Ministry and developed under the umbrella of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Aerospace Division, this drone blends long-range operation with high payload capacity and autonomy features. At first glance, it's reminiscent of the American MQ-9 Reaper, which has long been the gold standard in armed UAVs. But this isn't a cheap imitation. Iran claims the Mohajer 10 can hold its own against Western counterparts, and the specs suggest they might be right. So, let's talk about capabilities. The Mohajer 10 boasts a flight endurance of up to 24 hours. That's a full day of surveillance or combat operations without needing to land. Its operational range extends up to 2,000 kilometers, long enough to cover the entire Middle East region from a single launch point. With a cruise speed of 180 kilometers per hour and a maximum speed closer to 210 kilometers per hour, it may not break speed records, but that isn't the mission. This drone is designed for persistence, for loitering above targets, for monitoring and striking with precision. And strike it can. The Mohajer 10 carries up to 300 kilograms of payload. That includes guided bombs, air-to-surface missiles, and even electronic jamming equipment. Iran has developed a series of indigenous munitions specifically for drones, including the Ormuz missile system and Chem precision-guided bombs. These can now be integrated directly into the Mohajer 10's arsenal. In fact, footage from the drone's unveiling ceremony showed it armed with multiple hardpoints, ready to be loaded with combinations of air-launched weapons. That's a clear message: this drone is not just for watching. It's for action. But there's more to this than raw firepower. The Mohajer 10 features advanced electronic systems, including secure satellite communication, encrypted data links, and autonomous navigation capability. Iran claims it can operate under GPS-denial environments, a necessary skill in today's high-tech warfare, where signal jamming and spoofing are common. It also has AI-assisted targeting, which raises eyebrows internationally. If true, this suggests Iran has made strides in onboard computation and autonomous threat recognition. Let's talk logistics. The Mohajer 10 was reportedly built using components manufactured entirely inside Iran. This includes its turbocharged engine, which gives it improved altitude and range over previous models. Domestic production is key here, not just for economic reasons, but because of the sanctions Iran faces. Every nut and bolt made locally strengthens their drone industry's independence. And what about price? Official numbers are not easily available, but based on known production costs of similar drones and Iran's own defense budget allocations, the Mohajer 10 is estimated to cost between $500,000 to $1.2 million per unit. That's a fraction of what Western drones like the MQ-9 cost. Those go for upwards of $30 million each. This cost-effectiveness is part of Iran's strategic approach: produce large numbers of functional drones that are affordable to replace, deployable in swarms, and politically deniable. That's right, a deniability is a strategic advantage. Drones like the Mohajer 10 can be deployed in proxy conflicts, operated by Iranian allies or militant groups, and give Iran plausible deniability in attacks. We've already seen earlier models used in Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. With the Mohajer 10's increased range, Iran now has the ability to reach targets further across the Middle East, potentially even into Europe or North Africa under certain scenarios. This is a game changer in terms of deterrence and projection of power. Now, let's look at global reactions. Western analysts have mixed opinions. Some downplay the Mohajer 10 as a limited copy of foreign drones. Others warn that even if it's not technologically superior, its affordability and availability make it a serious threat. Military strategists know that swarm attacks using cheap but capable drones can overwhelm expensive air defense systems. Iran's approach seems to favor quantity and operational sustainability over premium sophistication, a strategy that has proven effective in recent years, especially in conflicts involving drone warfare like in Ukraine and Libya. On the other hand, regional players like Saudi Arabia and Israel are watching closely. The Mohajer 10 changes the security calculus for nations within range. It increases the pressure to bolster air defense networks, invest in drone jamming systems, and reconsider base vulnerabilities. Even American bases in the region, including in Iraq, Kuwait, and Qatar, could be in range. That raises tension and costs. Iran's drone program also raises legal and ethical questions. The United Nations has repeatedly discussed the dangers of autonomous weapons systems, especially those deployed in conflict zones with limited oversight. If the Mohajer 10 truly includes AI-assisted targeting, it joins the controversial category of semi-autonomous drones, blurring the lines of international warfare law. The fear, of course, is not just misuse, but proliferation. And that brings us to exports. Iran has already sold drones to Russia, Venezuela, and some African nations. The Mohajer 10, if mass-produced, could be marketed to other countries seeking advanced drones without the high price tag or political restrictions of Western equipment. This could include nations under sanctions themselves or those wanting to diversify from traditional arms suppliers. For Iran, that opens a new economic channel, exporting military-grade technology, which could bring in hundreds of millions of dollars annually. But exporting drones also exports tensions. If groups like Hezbollah or the Houthis get access to upgraded models like the Mohajer 10, the balance of power in their local conflicts could shift. Israel's Iron Dome and other systems would need to adapt quickly. Likewise, U.S. naval assets in the Gulf would become high-value targets vulnerable to drone swarms or precision strikes from these aircraft. Even civilian infrastructure, like oil processing facilities or shipping routes, could be targeted. It's important to note that the Mohajer 10 is not a one-off. It's part of a larger evolution. Iran has already tested kamikaze drones like the Shahed 136 and recon drones like the Ababil series. The Mohajer 10 marks a fusion, long endurance, weaponized capability, and potential for real-time intelligence collection. This pushes the envelope in asymmetric warfare, where cheaper, nimbler weapons can outmatch traditional militaries not through direct confrontation, but through attrition and psychological pressure. There are even reports that Iran is working on sea-based variants of its drone platforms. This could mean drones launched from naval vessels or converted merchant ships, say, giving them blue water reach far beyond their borders. If successful, this would mirror tactics used by the US Navy, but with a fraction of the cost and higher unpredictability. What's next? Analysts expect Iran to continue iterating. The Mohajer 10 may be the flagship today, but a Mohajer 11 or Shahed 200 could emerge within a year. That's how fast the drone race is evolving. And it's not just about building better drones, it's about integrating them into a total defense system, coordinating with manned fighters, missiles, and cyber systems. Iran's strategy is clear: make up for conventional weakness with asymmetric strength. And the world is watching. In Washington, the Pentagon is already reviewing regional-based defenses and drone countermeasures. In Tel Aviv, strategic planners are running simulations. In Moscow, the interest is practical: how can Iran's drone tech help fill gaps in their own war in Ukraine? For Tehran, the message is equally strategic: Iran is not just surviving, it's innovating. So whether you're a military enthusiast, a tech analyst, or just curious about where the future of warfare is heading, Iran's new drone deserves your attention. It may not have the polish of a Western model, but its combination of range, firepower, and affordability could make it one of the most impactful UAVs of the next decade. As conflicts evolve, and as technology reshapes the battlefield, the Mohajer 10 stands as a bold statement that even under pressure, innovation finds a way. Thanks for watching AutoBig8. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update from the world of defense, innovation, and mobility. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is the Mohajer 10 a genuine threat, or just hype? We'll be reading your takes and diving into the next big breakthrough, right here on AutoBig8.